Alright, lesson 3.5 is about lines in the coordinate plane, and we're going to start off with some vocabulary. So, first, the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. Slope-intercept form is y equals m times x plus b. In this case, m is always the slope, and b is the y-intercept. Okay, so this first equation up here is in slope-intercept form. It's y equals 2x plus 3, and it's this line right here. Okay, then the standard form of a linear equation is a times x plus b times y equals c. So that would be this next equation right here. This is in standard form. And it says 2 times x minus 1 times y equals 1. So that would be this equation in this line. And then our last type of line is a point slope form for non-vertical lines. So it can't be a straight line. It's y minus y1. y1, you just pick one of the y values, equals m times x minus x1. So you're only replacing the y1, the m, and the x1. And so then this line is in point slope form because it has y plus 2 equals 2 times x plus minus 1. And that would be this line right here. Okay, so those are the different kinds of ways to write the equation of a line. So there's 3 different equations for that. And you can rearrange each of them to figure out what you want. Quick note here, slope, if you're ever trying to find the slope, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Rise over run. Okay, so let's jump into some examples. Graphing lines using intercept. Use the x and y intercept to graph 5x minus 6y equals 30. So, to find the x-intercept, substitute 0 for y. So if you want to find x, make y 0. 6 times 0 is 0, so then 5x equals 30. If we divide by 5, x equals 6. So the x-intercept is 6, so that'd be the point 6, 0. Then over here, if we want to find the y-intercept, make x 0. So x is 0, 0 minus 6y is 30, so negative 6y is 30. If we divide by negative 6, y equals negative 5, so the y-intercept is negative 5, and that's the point 0, negative 5, because we made x 0, that's 0. Over here we made y 0, so that number is 0. Okay. Then we can plot this point. So we're going to plot the point 6, 0. So we're going to go over 6, up 0. And then 0 down to negative 5. And then we are going to connect our 2 dots here. Make our little arrows. There we go. There's our line. So remember, if you want the y-intercept, we're going to make x 0. And solve. And it's always going to be a point 0 and then your answer. If you want the x-intercept, we're going to make y 0 and solve that equation. The answer is always your answer in 0, or the point is always your answer in 0. Okay, so then number 2, transforming slope-intercept form. Okay, so transform the equation negative 6x plus 3y equals 12 to slope-intercept form. So here, what they have it in is standard form. And we're going to change it to slope intercept. so going from standard form to slope-intercept form, we want to get y on one side and everything else on the other. So the first thing we would need to do is to add 6x to each side so that I can move that over to here. So now I've got 6x right here. All right, so we've got 3y equals 6x plus 12. We need to get rid of the 3, so we're going to divide by 3 on each side. This is still 6x. We're just dividing each individual piece by 3. So first, 6x divided by 3 is 2x. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So the y-intercept, remember y-intercept is b, so that'd be 4. And the slope is m2. Okay, so then we can use that information to graph this line. So if we know the y-intercept is 4, it crosses y at 4. We know the slope is 2, so we go up 2 over 1, or down 2 to the left 1. And you do that a couple times, you get several points, and then you can draw your line through these points. And there we go. Okay, remember, slope is always rise over run. 2 is the same as 2 over 1, so we go up 2 to the right 1. Remember, m is the slope. B is always the y-intercept. And we were trying to get it in the form y equals mx plus b. That's how we figured out what the y-intercept and the slope were. Okay, number 3, using point slope form. So the equation for point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All we're going to do is substitute in the numbers we know. So right here it says the slope is -8, and then it has that point. So y1 would be -6. We know the slope is -8, and we know x1 is 3 from up here. Okay, so all we did was substitute in -8 for m, and the point 3, -6 for x1, y1. Okay, 2 negatives makes a positive, so y plus 6 equals -8 times x minus 3, and that is it. That's all you have to do for point slope form. Okay, so then you've got 3 check for understanding problems. You're just going to graph these. You can make the axis however you want. I just kind of picked a spot. Let's try that again. I picked a spot that I knew would work and went with that. So if you want to use my axes, you can. These are where I drew them. Oops, not doing too well at drawing these for you. Okay, so there's where I put my axis, and then you can use what you know about the lines to graph each of those on the axis. So then we're going to do example 3 here. And example 3 says writing an equation of a line given 2 points. So we're going to first find the slope, and earlier I wrote this down. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So then we're just going to substitute in these points. Y2 I'm going to say is 1. Y1 is -9. X2 is -1. X1 is 4. Okay, this is all I did here. This is x2 and y2. This point's x1 and y1. Okay, so I substituted in I substituted in 4, -9 for x1, y1, and -1, 1 for x2, y2. 1 minus -9 is actually 1 plus 9, so that'd be 10. -1 minus 4 would be -5. And 10 divided by -5 is -2. So there is our slope. Now we're going to use one of the points to write an equation. we're going to write it in point slope form. So remember, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, I already assigned this number up here to be x1, y1, so I'm just going to keep it that way. y1 is negative 9. Whoops, sorry. y1 is negative 9. We know the slope is negative 2 from right here. And x2 is, or x1 is negative, or is positive 4. Sorry, wow. Okay, so then I just substituted in negative 2 for m, which was the slope, and we used the point for negative 9 for x1 and y1. Alright, so then all we have left to do is clean a few things up. Minus a negative 9 is actually plus a positive 9. The slope is still negative 2, and it's minus 4. So that is your final answer there. Y plus 9 equals negative 2 times x minus 4. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay, so then you've got a couple more check for understanding problems to do. The first one says, write an equation of the line with the slope negative 1 and goes through the point to negative 4. Doesn't tell you what equation to use, but you have a slope and a point, so I would recommend point slope form. Anytime you have a slope and a point, point slope is a pretty good bet. Then it says write an equation of a line that contains the points 5, 0, and 7, negative 3. So first you're going to find the slope, and then I would write the equation in point slope form. You just pick which point you want to use. Alright, so go ahead and get started on your check for understanding questions. If you need any help, let me know.